What up, ladies and gentlemen? We in the building. Myself, I'm Adam Butler. That's Paul Span.
Black Man Span in the building.
LT's in the building.
What's up, folks?
Listen, you gonna see her. I was trying to figure out a different way to do this, but Clarence is in the building.
Family, what's going on?
What's happening? Ladies and gentlemen, it's not a hologram.
Not a hologram.
No,
It's not
This is a hologram now.
we're still working out the kinks.
Yeah,
This is a
live
hologram
from
now.
Atlanta, Georgia. No, in the building. Nargis is in the building. Give it up for Nargis.
Let's go.
I made it.
What's happening? All five live in the building. You are tuned into
The MSR podcast.
We in the building. Listen,
Studio version.
studio, live in the studio.
Yeah.
I was waiting for it. I was waiting for it. We got the ambiance.
That was
We got-
me pressing a button, everyone.
Yeah, that's our sound effect. Hey, listen, we got a big show for you guys today. A lot to talk about. Whole lot to talk about. We're going to have some fun today. Before we get into it, remember, if you want to interact with us, if you want to follow us, you can follow us. MSR Tribe on Instagram. MSR Tribe on Instagram. Mindstream Radio on Facebook. The MSR Pod on TikTok. I got to remember all of these, okay?
All of that.
The MSR Pod on TikTok and the MSR Pod /MSR Tribe on Patreon. If you're watching us on YouTube, remember to subscribe to the show. Remember to rate and review the show. If you're listening to us on podcasts and all of the podcast platforms, remember to rate and review the show. Follow us, do all of that stuff. We in the building. Nargis, how are you feeling?
I feel good.
How's it feel? You like
Welcome
the things?
back.
I know,
like
man. Look at y'all, man. Y'all done
Look at
upgraded.
us.
and came
Look at
through.
us.
Look at us.
No.
Y'all look
we,
good.
Look at that.
we have upgraded.
Yeah,
Bro.
Oh, yeah. I mean, obviously.
yeah, yeah.
Thank you, Clarence.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I feel good.
Still
I ain't
having
seen y'all in a
problems over
while.
here.
It's been a minute. I have not legit seen you in years.
Yeah.
I'm very happy to have you here. We're happy to have you here, man. This is super fun. Listen, we in it. Couple things to talk about before we get to one of our main topics. I had a question and I actually asked it before we got on air, and I was thinking and I've been wondering, and is a tennis court up the street from my house, right? And I
Right.
see all these beautiful black folks outside playing tennis. Shouts out to Shakira and her husband. I seen Cuffy at the tennis court.
I'm sure you did.
Okay.
Right.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah,
You
okay.
talking about the one over by
Cuff, what's happening?
Shouts out to Jamon, all these people. I'm just curious, and I love it. When did we start playing so much tennis?
So we never didn't play tennis.
How about it?
There we go.
Right?
You could
I
talk
think
to him,
that's
Nargis.
the thing.
School.
I mean,
Yeah.
you know, Arthur
School.
Ashe,
Yes.
Pete Gibson,
Mhm.
like, you
Yeah.
know, we have these trailblazers in the tennis space, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
But I mean, Serena Williams, Venus Williams, all
Yeah.
the things.
Yeah.
Shout out to Francis Tiafo, Big Foe, doing the thing now for PG County.
Coco Golf. We love
Coco Golf. I mean, yeah,
Mhm.
of course, right? So Taylor Townsend, like the list goes on.
Mm-hmm.
So we've always played
I like
tennis.
her.
Tennis is just one of those sport. I mean, if you want to like be serious about tennis,
Yeah.
it can be expensive. Like them rackets ain't cheap. Those shoes
Right.
ain't cheap. You gotta,
Nah.
you know,
Right.
the lessons aren't cheap.
Right.
So like we kind of naturally we got into it organically through COVID.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like a safe way to social distance and like still be active.
Right.
And
Right.
then I got tired because I'm not as competitive as my husband is. So he just kind of took off and like he's still doing it now.
Yeah.
5 years removed from COVID times.
Yeah.
But now that I enjoy watching it in general because
Yeah.
I didn't know what the hell I was looking at before. So now like I can
Right.
cheer on Coco
Right.
and know what's happening. I can cheer on Taylor Townsend and know what's happening. I know the rules between doubles versus singles and all the things. That's why I say
Love
like
and all
shout
that
out to
good stuff.
Tiafo. So it's like
Yeah.
I enjoy it and it's a great people call it like what is that? Like an evergreen sport.
Okay.
So
okay.
it's really
okay.
you can age well with it because it doesn't demand as much of your body as football, basketball, soccer, right?
Right.
You know, Paul mentioned pickleball earlier. Like pickleball is just a shrunken tennis
Yeah.
court.
Right.
So, you know, you
Right.
don't need to move. It's not as hard on your knees, but it can
Right.
still like keep your hand-eye coordination going. Like it's just a way to be active and back.
I think it's dope. Jumping right after me. I think it's dope because, and I say it kind of teasing, because I see like all these black folks picking up tennis, and I see the
Right.
trend of picking up tennis, and I never thought about it as an evergreen sport or anything like that. I always just kind of thought like, okay, well, this is the thing that people are doing now, but I'm noticing that like people in my age group, our age group, are playing tennis. They're out there. I see them all the time. I see all the instructors. I see people picking it up. And I'm kind of jealous because I haven't had the, you know, the balls to step out there and get on the tennis court. And we were talking about 37U
Mhm.
episodes
Sure.
back. And we were trying to figure out
Hilarious.
like sports that people in our age group could play without destroying yourself in your life and upsetting your spouse and come home all hurt and your health insurance is all, screwed up and all
Right.
that shit. And I didn't consider tennis, because I always thought that tennis was like a high
Impact
impact.
on the body, like on the joints and the knees. That's
Right.
what I always thought.
Right. I figured that too. You know what I mean? So it's good to hear that it's, you could, it's easier on your body than you thought. You know what I'm saying, P?
Yeah. I think that certain things are more in the forefront nowadays too.
Mhm.
I think like you were saying, like when Nargis was talking about access to tennis, and even the thought process around tennis was uppity and white.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
frankly,
Yeah.
Country
frankly
club.
white. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Frankly, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So I think a lot of I'm not even gonna call it pushback, was just because of all those things
Yeah.
and the connotation that
Right.
people had around tennis.
But what's so interesting in Southeast, they have beautiful
They do.
Yep,
tennis
They
courts.
do.
They
Yep.
do.
They've been doing that for
They
years.
do.
Indoor and outdoor.
Indoor.
Yeah,
and outdoor.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And yes, indoor. I forgot it was an
Yep,
indoor.
they got
as
a
well.
bubble.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
it. And when I walked in one day just to look at the gym, I saw all the black people, and I'm like, well,
It's
of course,
beautiful.
It was beautiful.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's free.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
And I don't
mean,
think,
but that is something to talk about, and that's a great thing.
yeah. And we're going to talk about health a little later, so it actually does tie into it.
DC resident is free.
Yeah.
For sure. And it definitely ties to a segment we're going to talk about a little later. But yeah, you corrected yourself, so I'm not debating you. It's not pushback.
Right.
And I'm glad you clean, because
Right.
I don't look at it as I tease, because I'm like, oh, he's playing tennis all of a sudden.
Right.
It's interesting. But it's more of like, this is dope. I'm seeing all
Yeah.
these like black folks. I didn't even know y'all played. Like, I see all these black folks playing tennis, and it's just different. Like we got the court around our way by
Tad. That's
Yes,
what I thought you were talking about earlier.
That's exactly
Yeah.
what I'm
Right.
talking about. Yeah. And I see my man out there training, and I see people out there training all the time.
Yeah.
And my wife will walk my daughter to daycare up that way. And we think all the time, like, yo, we should probably holler at cuz and see about some lessons. So now I think I am, because
But
But
It's a good thing.
But you know what's interesting? That's been there for years.
Yeah.
People
Thank you.
have been practicing there
Yeah.
for years, training people there for years.
yeah.
Like it's not like it's a new thing, like we said earlier. It's not
Right.
new. It's just
Right.
we've been playing for years.
Yeah.
but-
Over in
yeah.
Fort Lincoln as well. Go ahead.
This
Phil.
phenomenon is interesting
It is.
because why now?
Yeah.
Why is it now starting to happen? I mean, even with the black run clubs.
Yeah.
You know what
Right.
I mean?
Cycle
Daddy-
clubs,
Daddy
too.
Strong
Yeah.
Club. Like,
Yep.
like, when are we going to really start to shed the BS and really indulge into what's healthy, what's enjoyable, what's
Mhm.
free, what's affordable, what, you know what I mean? Like, when do we shed that as a people and be
I
able
think-
to really engage into all these beautiful things that are afforded to us all the time?
I think this is a part of it.
Yeah.
What we're talking about right now is a part of it. Even when you're talking about, like, even you said something about what's afforded to us, like you just said recently, like free classes and different things have been available. I think what you're talking about, and even I wouldn't say you're longing for it, but what you're talking about is something that what we're discussing is actively happening.
Not saying that older
Skip a nap.
generations didn't know about it, but like
Yeah.
we recognize the importance of being active, right? I
Absolutely.
think as we're aging, as we're getting into that age where like we're very aware of like our mortality, we're
Right.
very aware of like wanting to be active with our kids.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Then it's like, okay, let's see what's accessible, and you want to carve that time out. Whereas before, and again, time is a luxury.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's like to have a hobby and work full time
Mm-hmm.
and have a family
Yeah.
is a lot of things
Yeah.
at
Right.
once. So prioritizing it, I think, is like starting to be that new trend where it's like,
Yeah.
you know, we talk about like third spaces, black
Right.
third spaces.
Yeah.
So you have your run club, you have your cycle club, you have your tennis, whatever that active thing is. It
Mhm.
might be old ass football league.
Yeah. It might be a 37 to you. It might be. It might be. It might be. It might be a
One
kickball team like I'm
season.
you know,
One
They have
and
line
obviously
dancing.
football,
Yeah.
line dancing.
Yeah.
Like it's just to get us
Yeah.
out and like, you know, socialize and not just age in place and like
You know
watch
what?
the day go by.
So you know what? I'm actually going to flip the show a little bit. We're going to jump right into our health conversation, and then we'll
Yeah.
get into our music conversation in a second. So we're going to jump right into that right now. Just to continue this conversation, and we're going to talk about D'Angelo a little bit too. We didn't get an opportunity to truly talk about D'Angelo on this show, and what he meant to us, and what our health means us, things like that. But just to piggyback on what we're talking about, I think that our generation is very different than our parents' generations and the generations before them. We care more about mental health. They cared about physical health, but we are a lot more aware of not just how to be healthy and and look good and things like that, but also like what to eat, what not to eat, what to do, what not to do. And I think that's why you're seeing more people outside trying different things. Like, you know, yeah, we always play tennis, but you're seeing more people like in your friend group play tennis, you know what I'm saying? Or be on a kickball team, or, you know, or I'm not going to count 37 of you. 37 of you was wild. Golf.
I've seen a lot of people
Shouts to
out
Dirk.
in the lanes doing golf.
Yep. Shouts to my best friend Dirk. My man is an avid golfer. Evil Golf. Check out his YouTube channel, by the way.
Sport.
Yeah. And that's an expensive. And see, I think that's another part of it.
Right.
We're doing well. We may not feel like we're doing well, okay? It don't feel like it, okay? But we are, a lot of us are doing well. And I think it's not a matter of excess money necessarily. It's a matter of time, like you mentioned, right? Like, are you going to, like you said it, I'm repeating now, are you going to wake up earlier to go take your jog in the morning or take your tennis lessons before work? If you do have time, if you're working remotely, if you do have time during your day, are you going to take a nap? Are you going to go to the store? Are you going to do this? Or are you going to take that little hour you have carved out and go take your tennis lessons or go jog or go to the gym or do whatever? And again, this isn't judgment. It's just how you have to carve this stuff into your day, because it's a little more difficult. And the thing is, the reason why I'm impressed by it, and I shouted out all those people that I see, and now shout outs to Nargis too, all the people I see on the tennis court and doing their thing, is because I look at people and I go, these are people that are active about not only their health, but their mental health.
Right.
And that's super important. And as we see people who are celebrities or public figures who have struggled with that or succumb to that, it's always good to see people who aren't, right? And then even off the mental health piece, but just like the physical health piece, we bring up D'Angelo, and when D'Angelo passed, there was this list that came out of all of the rappers and basically black public figures that passed away over the past couple of years. Obviously, it was like Chadwick Boseman, Prodigy, D'Angelo. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. It's always a rude awakening when someone dies so young.
Right.
You know what I mean, P? Like when someone dies so young, it's always a rude awakening. And so I want to talk about this man just for a few minutes, because again, we didn't really get an opportunity to really talk about him. P, I want to talk about his legacy just for a few minutes, and also what his death means to you as a black man.
Wow. Firstly, let me just say this. I think that as a overall, the black community is a lot more health conscious.
Yeah.
I think with what the younger people are doing, I think it also helps influence older people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like in our friend group, our family group, and all of those things. So that's something to be applauded. But in specificity to this, firstly, how old was D'Angelo when he passed? What was he?
Like,
how old?
Look that up for us, T.
Late
Might have been
40s.
like-
Late
Yeah,
40s.
Yeah, T's looking it up, but go ahead.
I know it's
Go ahead.
around my age. Don't
Yeah,
get
he
me
might
up.
have been like
Okay.
You know
right
what I'm
at
saying?
50. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and that's just absolutely
Very.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that really sucks. So like, for one, it was shocking, bruh. It was shocking. Matter of fact,
We were on the
I was
phone.
on the phone with you.
Yeah.
I was on the phone with you, and I just, I'm just like, damn.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so that sucks. But I'm happy, one, that we're having this conversation. I'm also happy that, like I was saying before, things are more health focused. Even when we pour in and peer into something that we've been talking about, something that you've been doing a personal crusade for years, when we pour into mental health and start explaining certain things and breaking stigmas about therapy, about family therapy,
Yeah.
about pairing, even defining to certain sector, to our own diaspora, what trauma is. Like you'd be surprised that people don't even understand the concept of it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think that it's just important for this movement to continue. And it's so many people that, first off, big shout out to our man Ed Life.
Shouts to Ed Life.
Shout out to our man Ed
Damn, I ain't
Life,
heard that
who
name
for
in a minute.
years,
Yeah.
for years has been working in this space and working with with you know, people that were thinking of committing suicide and different things like that. So
Yeah.
I just think that tragedy. Obviously, we know that D'Angelo was one of the greatest musicians and singers. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I like I said, I'm just happy that we're focusing in more on health now.
Yeah. How old was he, T?
So, he was 51.
Wow.
when he
Yeah, I was
passed.
like, I knew he
So,
was
Wow.
50.
Yeah.
Wow.
He was sick for a few years, unfortunately.
Yeah. And you know, we
out the camera, out the way.
yeah, and we're going to bring up quite a few people in this conversation, so we don't want to conflate. Some people were sick, and it's just really nothing you could do about it.
Right.
Some people weren't, you know, but we just want to talk about health just in general. Piggybacking off what P said, it's and I said this in the group, and I'm not gonna get too heavy, but it's some stuff going on in my world, and this is making me think about this. And the past like 2 years or so, I find myself saying to my wife, Dan Alabama was too young, or she was too young. And this is a weird age when you're in your 40s, mid 40s, you know, getting close to your 50s. I asked Jen, young, I wonder if like my grandparents, like around this time where they like so-and-so passed away, so like in their 40s, or you always kind of think it's
crazy.
like, it's when you start getting in your 60s, 70s,
Right.
80s, you start thinking about people. And so.
But I think that's only recent though.
Well, that's my question.
But
That's what I was wondering.
Life expectancy for a very long time was very, very young.
Right,
It's not
right.
till more modern times that
Yeah.
things have started to become a little bit more expanded in life terms, or life, you know, cycles.
Right.
But I honestly think that maybe this may be our cycle, right? Like we go up this big hill and then we go kind of like down the hill, where it's like a certain demographic or a certain group of people, generations start to pass away at a certain age. And it may be due to a lot of environmental things. It could be due to all those things, right? That we kind of need to pay attention to in terms of policy.
Well, that's really the point, right?
Right. No,
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't trying to cut you off. I think you hit on where I'm trying to go, where like there are just things that we have to really focus on. So again, when I see people out active, it puts a smile on my face, because it's like that's what I want to see. Because on the same end, on the one hand, I'm seeing a bunch of people that I know active, and then on the other hand, I'm like, damn, we lost this person. Damn, this person's very sick. Damn, we lost this person. And then it's not just, you know, personal, it's celebrity, right? Like this week, well, not this week, sorry. D'Angelo, we lost about a month ago.
Right.
This week we lost an NFL player for the Dallas Cowboys. Very young. 24 years old. Just literally, and it shows you that like you don't really know, Nargis, that like when you look at someone's life, you kind of feel like they got it made. Like just a week before the boy scored his first touchdown on national television.
Marshawn
Nealon of the Dallas Cowboys. You know, and again, I don't want to be all over the place. The reason why I'm bringing this up is just to say, like, when we lose an icon like this, and you find out that person was sick, similar to Chadwick Boseman, it kind of takes your breath away.
Yeah,
you're thrown off, and then you think about that person's legacy, and you go, man, how much more did they have to offer? You know what I'm saying? When you think about D'Angelo or some of these people, you think like, golly, how much more did they have to offer? And you just, you know, there's pure emotion right now. This isn't a logical statement. You just wish they could be around longer because you feel like they have much more to offer, and you want your people to stay around longer so they can offer and give as much as they can in this
that
life.
Makes sense.
You know what I mean?
Emotional.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. I guess I meant like I'm not really asking her a question. I'm just giving. Yeah, I'm just presenting that to her.
No, I think so. I think this is where, and this is my age talking, right? Like, that's where whatever your belief system and spirituality kicks in.
Yeah.
Because like if you do kind of like submit yourself to the universe and to the creator and whatever that entity is to you,
Right.
we die after this.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, and that's kind of been in my brain definitely since I became a parent, but like even a little bit before that is like, this is the temporary.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, it's jarring, but then if you kind of root yourself in the reminder that like all of us have a death date.
Yes.
That we
Yes.
don't know. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? So even if it to us it's unexpected,
Right.
to us it's tragic
Right.
because we're not the
In control.
larger, we're not in control,
And we're
right?
still here.
And it's literally been it's been destined from our first breath when our last breath is going to be,
Right.
and we just don't know when that is,
Right.
right? So that's what's like uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Right.
And so when you see people, it's like, oh my God, they were so full of life. Oh my God, they were so oh my God, they
Yeah.
had so much more to offer to this world.
Yeah.
That's in our like human physical opinion,
Right.
Yeah.
and not what
Yeah.
thinking we're not
Right.
capable of, like energetically,
Right.
spiritually, God, like again, whatever you may or may not submit yourself to,
Right.
that's beyond our comprehension.
Yeah.
So we think you had more to offer, but the universe said, "Good job."
This is what you done your job.
I think
You-
that's because
yeah. That's a good
death
point.
is just such a puzzling thing to reconcile with while you're still here.
Because it's the
You know what
unknown,
I'm saying? Right.
Yeah.
And
and that's what
conceptually,
throws us off.
Yeah.
we're
Yeah.
all aware.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like we're aware, like we know that's it's really such a puzzling thing, is we're all aware. We know some people are gonna be born, people are gonna die. Like we know that
Right.
even when someone that's a lot older dies, it
Yeah.
still doesn't take away from that
Yeah.
effect.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But with that, and with having that knowledge, and with us imparting that knowledge, I think it's important that we focus in on how we live now,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
because ultimately, you know,
'Cause we
inevitably
die
we're
after
going
this.
to
Yeah.
Exactly.
yeah, so
Exactly.
I think it brings more to the light of us, even focusing in both health and joy, and letting people know, don't
Yeah.
work yourself to death. Go do things.
Yeah.
Experience life with your family.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like live life. Don't just sit around and wait to die.
Yeah. Before you jump into it, because I think this is a natural transition to something you
Yeah.
brought up in the group
Yeah.
about Marshall Nealon and about Antonio Brown and what's my boy that plays for the Eagles, man? Not AJ Brown. What's his name? The receiver for the Eagles.
AJ Brown.
AJ Brown, who I want to talk about in a moment too, but I think it's just a natural transition where we talk about like joy
Yeah.
and being able to, while you hear, really enjoy what you're doing and focus in on that mental health. I know you had a point you wanted to make about kneeling in particular and how we view Black men's mental health.
Yeah, I think that America has bastardized mental health,
Mhm.
right? So in my mind, mental health is a big umbrella.
Yeah.
There's mental illness that falls underneath that, and then there's mental hygiene that
Okay.
falls underneath that, right?
Okay.
Hygiene, just like how we do with our bodies every day.
Yeah.
Right. So that means you are playing golf. That means you are playing tennis. That
Yeah.
means that you are laughing with friends. You're
Right.
you're making sure that you're doing these things.
Right.
I think a lot of times those three things get very conflated, right? And we have it's difficult because sometimes we forget that the brain is an organ just like your kidneys,
Yes, it is.
or your
Yep.
or
Yes,
your
it
heart
is.
or anything else, and
Yep.
these things can fall awry.
Right.
But because we
Surgeon,
can't
crack, by the way.
say again.
No. Keep
He
going.
said he heard my knee crack. It's on topic.
Old ass
Yeah.
nigga.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's
no.
a supplement for
my
that.
knee had a contribute to the
Some more
conversation.
collagen in
Yeah.
Collagen is hilarious. But yeah, but I think that, we have kind of mixed those things in together, and we've kind of have a misunderstanding, and because we can't see
Yeah.
what illness is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's a lot of non-noticeable illnesses that people have or disabilities that people have.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes because it's the mind, it gets very muddied,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Is it lack of motivation because you don't have it, or because you actually have an illness?
Right.
Is it you not engaging the way you need to
Yeah.
because you're hearing, or you have delusions, you're hearing X, Y, Z, or is it because you're just lazy? Like there's a lot
Right,
of things
right,
that people tend to attach to things.
Right.
And I think that this mental health conversation is a little frustrating in public because we trivialize a lot of things. We just say mental health, mental health, mental health.
Yeah.
But it's like this boutique like word that we don't really understand the concept of it. And I think that we have to start being honest as a society about how we're being honest. I mean, being honest in society about how we're having these conversations.
Yeah.
And actually, are we contributing to people's mental health?
It's like the word like toxic and trigger.
Yeah.
It just became
or sociopath.
Bastardized is a great word.
Yes, that's such a great point. That's why I want, AJ Brown
talk about it
for the Philadelphia Eagles. Has been very vocal about his mental health.
Oh, no, wait. You mean AJ? You mean Marshall? He was with the Cowboys.
No, so I'm talking about AJ Brown now. Marshall,
I'm
talking about AJ Brown now for the Philadelphia Eagles.
There's a reason.
It's been very vocal about his mental health, and every now and then he has breakdowns. Every now and then he talks about how unhappy he is in certain situations. And there's a great TikTok I saw from a sports writer that talked about Diana Rossini, and I'm saying her name. Diana Rossini is a sports reporter. Used to be a local sports reporter, actually. But she was on ESPN. Now she's with, I think, NBC Sports or something like that. Either way, she's an NFL insider. And she's one of those, it's kind of like, well, I could tell you who's going to get traded. I could tell you this, that, and I spoke with this person, like Adam Schefter.
She's a journalist.
She's a journalist, but she's really known for having the tea, if I'm being really honest.
Got it.
She is a journalist. I'm being respectful of her craft.
Right.
But why she's popular is because when she was here, she had all the tea on like RG3 and Mike Shanahan. She was just like, I know what's going on. That got her to ESPN. That got her to the next gig. She just is an insider. And right now she's kind of been, and I don't think she realizes it, had been picking on AJ Brown. And someone had to put out a reminder that when AJ Brown was a Tennessee Titan, he made a reporter cry because he talked about how he considered suicide. Like, this is in a press conference. He was like, I considered suicide, but I realized life is for the living and this, that, and another. And the reporter that was talking to him literally broke down in tears because she was like, I can't believe this football player is being this transparent. This young black man is being this transparent about his mental health. So when he has, after a game, when he's mopey, or I remember a couple of years ago, he was sitting on the sideline reading a self-help book, and the guys in the booth were laughing at him because, again, these are macho football dudes. Why is this guy reading a book on the sideline? What the fuck? But he's reading his self-help book because that's something his therapist told him to do when he's in the game and he can't quite control his emotions. So every now and then, AJ Brown openly expresses how unhappy he is with the situation he's in. And it comes off as odd,
even
to
though
your
they're
point.
winning.
Even though they're winning, right? That's a great point. They'll win the Super Bowl, and he'll go, yeah, I'm just a little nut. And they'll go, well, damn, AJ Brown, you're never happy. Because he's depressed. He's
My brain doesn't work the
his
same
brain
way.
doesn't work the same way. So when you said in the group chat, Smooth, that, sometimes, and I don't think it's just black men, but I know sometimes we focus in on black men. I think black people, we don't really I think mental health has become a buzzword. You're right. In society, and yes, we weaponize words like sociopath, narcissist.
Yeah.
What was the one
therapy?
Narcissist is definitely.
Yeah, we weaponize that one hard just because you don't like somebody, they're a narcissist.
Right.
Okay, or whatever.
Toxic.
Yeah, that's the one. All these words we weaponize it, and a lot of people weaponize the fact that I'm in therapy and so I have mental health issues. So please don't ever challenge me. Please don't.
This is my boundary.
Right.
Thank you. Thank you.
No, we're just avoiding.
But we don't take it, just real quick, before you jump in, I just want to land this. We don't take it serious when it comes to black people. We still don't give black people that grace. That man stood up and said, y'all, I'm just telling you, I thought about killing myself. So when he operates as a person that had those thoughts at one point, they still laugh at him and make fun of him. It shows you're not really taking it serious.
But real fast.
Oh, yes, please, sorry.
But we went at one time from killing yourself or suicide is you're a sissy or you're weak
or
you're
sinner
this, or you're a sinner or it's the wrong thing to do. But now 20, 30 years later, we're now we're starting to really have this conversation of these are real things. Like in my personal life, I had to deal with a partner who had these type of ideations as well as events, right? Yeah. Like, so in my mind, I look at this in a way deeper context than how sometimes we portray it in the media.
And you should.
Right.
But my bad, go ahead.
You should go. And I think it is a double-edged sword because sometimes with all the knowledge that we have, with all the things that we're exposing and allowing people to open their mind to, there's also people that use this space to think that mental health means do whatever you want.
Yeah.
With no ideology of repercussion.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Which it isn't.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that while we're still like finding things and defining these spaces, like that's important, because like it breeds like a person like this current version of Kanye. You
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying? Who's just flipping at anything. Then you have a amen corner that goes, he's just being truthful.
Yeah,
He's just being
right.
being forthright.
He's
And
genius.
he's really not. He's being
Right. Sick.
damaging.
He's sick.
And exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So like I think that it's just important that we keep working at it, and like Clarence said, like all you guys said, defining all these things and finding which things are our niche, and knowing that we have to, teach both sides of it, because it doesn't just mean, hey, whatever makes you feel good, whatever, just go do it, and it doesn't matter what happens to anybody else.
Right.
Yeah,
LT jumping in. I know Nargis
wanna
had a point.
Speak on what Paul was saying earlier about how people are kind of taking this and kind of like trying to be like, it's the common notion that, okay, this has become a popular subject. So now I have this thing that everyone is like, because I want either the concern or I want, and don't get me wrong, there are a lot of people in this world, including us here, have dealt with depression or just stress to that level, anxieties, panic, all that good stuff, at some point in our life. You know what I'm saying? So we could be put in that category of just like, our mental health was not good at some point in our lives.
Right.
But like Paul and Smooth are saying with the whole thing, like we got to keep defining it. We got to keep this subject, a top, almost like one of the top priorities, because there are a lot of people that like their brains like chemically unbalanced.
Yeah.
That comes up a lot. And some people really can't control how they feel sometimes.
Right.
But like, just like with the whole ADD thing back in the day, where once people started saying like ADD, ADHD, now everybody's kids had ADD, ADHD.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now, don't get me wrong. I say this all the time to people. We all on the spectrum in some way.
Yes.
Somehow.
We are all on the spectrum in some way.
Yeah.
I myself did have the first ADD.
Yeah.
Not spectrum, nigga. Like, let's be clear.
What?
Neurodivergent or neuro spectrum. The spectrum is very vague.
He's being PC. He wants to make sure he doesn't get canceled.
Yeah. Thank you. Clarence.
With no problems there.
That's Clarence. But here, that's Clarence part of the spectrum.
Yeah.
He had to add
For real.
Or explain.
Spectrum.
For 1
real.
second.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
but it's
That's good.
I just want to make sure, just like Paul was saying, that people are able to be open about these things, but being genuine when they're trying to talk about these things. Not
Absolutely.
just, I want the attention right now, so I'm going to say that I did this or I was thinking about this or something. No. Like we got to make this a thing where it's like, okay, you seriously feel this way? Let's try to get you some help.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Nargis, what do you
Right. No, I mean, I'll piggyback off what LT said. Like, I was going to give the example, previous career fields. Like, I've worked, with incarcerated populations. I've worked with unhoused populations. I work with students, right? And you create, how would I say it? The system that they have to operate in, they almost lead with whatever their diagnosis is as an excuse. But that's what they've been conditioned with
To doing.
right? So it's like, literally, I had a young lady, she was like, my bipolar. And I was like, girl, you're fine. Like, we're not leaning into this, right? Or I would have parents come to me and say, oh, well, they weren't, they weren't focused because, they got their ADHD and I didn't give them medication, blah, blah, blah.
That age.
Okay.
Haven't talked to him yet.
But we haven't even had a but this is the thing. You're conditioning your child into using this diagnosis on paper from someone who doesn't know them as an excuse to get away with things. So now I am dealing with them as either their formal instructor or their martial arts instructor, where I'm supposed to be teaching them discipline, and you want me to treat them with training wheels because they didn't take their medication. But the whole reason you brought them in here
That's a good point.
was to be
Wow.
you know what I'm saying? To
In the first place.
so
Yep.
I'm not trying to
No,
minimize.
of course not.
Yes,
Right.
ADHD is a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
ADD is a thing. I know kids with ADD. I know
Yeah.
adults with ADHD. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's a thing, but I think
Hey.
we just have to be right.
Yeah.
But we just have to
I was
be.
like, yeah.
And I know I can imagine the difficulty it is when you're in the spotlight, when you're a
Yeah.
public figure,
Mhm.
Right.
when your ability to do a thing
Yeah.
is hinged on like your financial success
Yeah.
or the success of a team, and there's a
Mm.
thing that goes on in your brain sometimes
Yeah.
that you don't always have a handle on.
Mhm.
So
Right.
I can or it's triggered by stress. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah.
It's triggered by
Yeah.
stress,
Mm.
by pressure.
Exactly.
So I can imagine like how frustrating it is. But I think like I said, you used the right word with being bastardized, because
Mm-hmm.
these are things that
Mhm.
have happened forever. Everyone's had depression. Everyone's had anxiety. Everyone's had ADD or whatever. We just didn't have the diagnoses. We didn't know what spectrum was. We didn't know any
Mhm.
of this.
Yeah.
So now that we have it, it's like we're overloading.
Right.
And now we're like, I try to be very mindful of not leading with my anxiety.
Yep.
It's very
Right.
easy to do.
Right.
Now that I
Yep.
have a word for it, I throw it all the
Mm.
time,
Yeah,
right? But
yeah.
I have to make sure that I'm not throwing out like a self-fulfilling prophecy
Right.
of leading with it. So
Right.
now it's like, okay, I'm gonna be worried about everything, when it's like,
Yeah.
no, like I have the control and the ability, if I'm conscious and mindful,
Yeah.
to not be as worrisome
I like
See,
that.
that's
as I could if I lead with it.
That's what
Yeah. I
like
therapy
that.
does. Therapy allows you to understand what's happening.
Absolutely.
Yep, to know your
And how
triggers.
we can improve on certain things, how we can be cognizant
Yeah.
of
Right.
what are slipping, being cognizant
Yeah.
of the triggers.
Right.
And that's what's supposed to help you navigate this
And
space.
live life better.
Right?
Absolutely.
It's not about
Right.
Yeah,
it's
something to
not
say about that.
necessarily
Yeah.
about medication. It's not necessarily
Mhm.
about that. I mean,
Mhm.
to be honest with you, when I was working in Baltimore City, I dealt with a population that was duly diagnosed.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep,
So there
yep.
was a drug abuse issue and there was a mental health issue.
Yeah, yeah.
And you
Mm.
can't get to the mental health issue until you deal with the drug abuse
Yep.
issue first. And
Yep.
they may be tied together.
They're
And that's
co-occurring.
to this
Yep.
whole point is that, you know what I mean, it's a very dynamic conversation.
Yeah.
Because the brain is so complex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not like we know how your kidneys are supposed to work. We know
Right.
how the
Right.
we know how the heart's supposed to work.
Right.
We know why there was a heart attack because of X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
But when we talk about the mind,
Brain
Yeah.
functions.
it's so, I mean, excuse me, not the mind, the brain.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
mind
Yeah.
and brain are two different things. But when we start talking about the brain
Yeah.
itself as an organ, it's like, what are we talking
We don't
about?
even use
Mhm.
most of it. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We don't even use
even
it.
use it for real. Like, hey,
Real talk.
we don't. To that point, I remember when I was in therapy at a certain point, and I had just got with my wife, and we were,
Look at God.
yeah, for real. And I didn't need therapy no more, so I'm joking. No, but when I got with her, we were having misunderstandings a lot.
That's all.
And I went to my therapist and I was like, I don't understand, like, she don't get me, all this stuff.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I
they had to let 'em
remember,
know.
you know what I'm saying? She tripped
I don't get it, young.
young. That's how I was talking. Come on, young. Help me out, young.
Paul
Don't blow on me,
remembers the
young.
late night combo.
Yeah.
But no, they I remember I was like explaining some stuff to her, and in the next session I came to, she literally had my mind mapped out on a whiteboard. Like, you start here, then you do this. Then you go here, and then you do this, and this is where you go wrong. And I remember I could like look at my thought process on the
That's
whiteboard, and it was like,
crazy.
holy shit, like this is
That's
crazy. Like I
crazy.
can,
That's awesome.
and it helped me understand like how to communicate with people, because it wasn't just her. I was getting into arguments and misunderstandings with people all the time because I would go from one place and then end up thinking stupid. I would go from one place and end up. See, you don't care about my mental health. You don't care about my mental health, T. What's wrong with him, bro?
Smooth
He
uses
talked all that
pretty
good
words,
shit.
but he can't be
talked
serious
all that
about
good shit.
Talked all that.
He
And
uses
then I
pretty
get
words to
vulnerable.
make it sound like he know what he talking
Grumpy
about.
old man.
You know what I'm saying?
Like,
you know what's
and-
funny?
Hey,
Hey.
no. As soon as Adam said like, yeah, I was going to therapy.
He started laughing.
Smooth was trying to hold it back.
in the corner.
Adam be so annoyed with everything.
Dog, you know what's funny?
Hilarious.
You know what's funny, and I do want to transition to health just in general after this. What's funny is, we were over my house when we had the Halloween thing, and Smooth, I gotta give it to him. It was getting late. Everybody was, hanging around a little too long. It was like 2 in the morning,
I already
and
know what was
it
going
didn't feel like the party was about to end. And Smooth looked at you, he was like, yo, want everybody to go home. I was like, nah. I was that nigga right here. I was like, I'm ready for niggas. Y'all niggas is the party for hours.
Me and Smooth peeped it early that night.
No.
No. The funny thing is, early that night, me and Smooth peeped it. It was like a couple of things that was happening. Not going to say what happened. All I know is Hannah would just roll his eyes and walk into the kitchen. And me and Smooth would be like, uh-oh, he about to start kicking people
I'm
out.
ready to go. I love everybody, bro.
Get off my lawn.
That's the difference between me and my wife. My wife like to keep the party going. You know what I'm saying? I be like, I'm like Martin, bro. I'm like,
Shit was hilarious.
hey, but no, okay, but no, that's funny. No, but just to start to land this a bit.
But you mapping out.
Well, no, I mean, people understand that one. I think that's just mental health and therapy is a beautiful thing when you take it seriously and do it right. But health, just in general, and just paying attention to not just your mental health, but your physical health and bringing it full circle to the tennis and D'Angelo and all this stuff. I think we get shook when we see these titans of life, these people we grew up with that seem like invincible gods almost, right? Funny enough, in the black community with D'Angelo, I think I said this when we talked about Tyler, the Creator, and it was upsetting, but God bless him, work. No one knew who he was. And I was actually like, wow, it shows you like this bubble you live in when it's like, to us, D'Angelo is like, I mean, he might as well be Michael Jackson. You know what I'm saying? He's a huge
that
star.
collection that he came from with the Erykah Badu. Loves, like
what they represent.
Yeah.
The Neo
but just
Soul era.
That Neo Soul era, but just, when these people either, these titans of sport, show of honorability, or when they get sick, you look at Deion Sanders right now, and it's like this dude who was like who was just like the coolest, most athletic, Showtime. Now he getting his toes and foot amps, all these things going through it. And, you just think about health just in general. And it can't do nothing but make you think about your own health. And as a black person, you think about people and, all this. And that,
especially when you become a parent.
Yep.
Especially when you become a parent,
Most assured.
I'll be real honest with y'all, man. I was a little sick this week. And, but it was nothing. It was like allergies, you know what I mean? But when you get like a shit,
that's what everybody say when they get sick.
No,
it was like, oh no, don't worry, y'all.
I'm not contagious.
It's crazy.
Hey, that's hilarious, bro. It's the allergies. I fall out your head. It's the allergies.
Face swollen.
With that pollen, you know what I'm saying?
Just take it real quick.
Bleeding from the ears. Man, it's pollen crazy out here, man.
This man going. It makes you think like back in the medieval times, like when they were going through the Black Plague. Somebody like, don't worry, allergy.
Right.
Somebody got the pus and everything on their face. Like, don't worry, it is only allergies. It is only allergies.
They know about allergies. Everything was the plague.
Everything was the right.
The dungeon.
Yeah, you're right. Answer the dungeon.
Go to that dying hole.
Right, yeah.
Coughing up black liquid, talking about tis only allergies. I swear.
That's what he swear.
I swear.
But that's an excellent point. I'm glad you said that because, that it was my allergies, but I never went to the doctor for the shit. I'm just being honest. I didn't even see if it wasn't allergies. I had a headache one day. I didn't go, you know what? I should go to the doctor just to be sure that it's not my allergies or my chest is heavy.
Huh? That's the balance between like being cognizant of your health, but also not,
also not. Let's go on him for a second. Put your phone on silent. We're having a serious conversation.
Hey, Paul watching the whole video. Paul watching the whole video while we on.
I'm not. I was trying to find something.
Paul ain't paying attention.
Watching the whole video.
I'm fully paying attention. I was trying to find something.
A bunch of cartoons and shit.
But no, it's like to a degree. Also, you don't want to be like a
for my mental health.
It's trending.
It's for my mental health.
Exactly. How dare you? How dare we challenge Paul?
Right. Exactly.
That's his fidget.
God, we sent you a table of tools over there.
A tablespoon.
Oh,
He got to watch it.
welcome to the studio, Nargis.
He got to watch his Bluey video.
Yeah,
so he can make sure
he watching Bluey videos.
so he can make sure his attention.
Right.
Go there and scrap. All right.
Go for it,
Monopoly
please.
go.
But
Let's land this plane,
it's
dog.
a balance between it being like a hypochondriac, right?
Right, yes.
And being cognizant of what's happening. And I think that's where men
Okay. Talk
have
to
that
me.
misbalance.
Yeah, because that's
Right?
really what I
Because
was.
like you just said, you know what I mean? It's like I had a headache. It's like, all right, nigga, like take some ibuprofen.
because I can't. I'll be proofing though.
We know what you
Sound like
mean.
Trump.
That's his accent.
I'll be proofing.
I be proof.
That sounds like a term for like. That sounds like a term for somebody to drink alcohol to take care of.
Yeah,
Let me get some of that ibuprofen.
You know what ibuprofen.
Ibuprofen.
But no, okay, and I understand what you're saying,
Right.
but I can't sit here and say, like, we got to be mindful. There's a black man that died and it's crazy, and then like not go to the doctor when you don't, or at least inquire and try to figure out. You know what I mean? And I'm the guy that goes to the doctor, okay?
Yeah,
but
right.
like, I find myself going less and less. I do think, and I'm just being very honest now. When people start getting sick around me and like dying around me, it makes me scared, and I don't want to. Cause it's like they went and found out some wild shit. Am I gonna go and find out some wild shit? And that's obviously.
That's also why I stay on Facebook.
I feel you, but you also have to face these things. Like if something's wrong with you. So again, I'm trying not to like Chadwick Boseman knew he was sick for a long time. That was like a thing. Like he was clearly sick when he was doing Black Panther, and all the Marvel stuff. Like so. That's different. I don't know how long D'Angelo knew he was sick. I don't know how long Celebrity A or Celebrity B knew he was sick. But what if they didn't know?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what if something that was preventable turned into something crazy? You know what I mean? And so that's always going to be something I think in the black community. And we all know, look, we didn't had this conversation on the show before. You heard a million podcasts talk about the night doctor and Henrietta Lacks and all of the stuff that causes fear in our community, going to the doctor. A lot of old folks would go to the doctor and come out worse. It's just the truth. That's the real.
I just get tired of getting a bill after I go to the doctor. I ain't gonna hold you. Honestly, tell me so I know what it is. Like my theory is this is my motto. Like the doctors have the machines to tell you what's going on, and then you can make the decision of what you want to do.
Yeah.
But when I get that $300 bill and $800 bill because I came to you because I know I have a heart murmur, that pisses me off and makes my heart.
I feel you, make you sicker. Listen, yo,
and you're calling me about payment plans.
Yo,
I have insurance.
Listen, this gonna
I have insurance.
Okay, this gonna be my last comment on this. Y'all can wrap it up after this. I had shellfish in my food. Went into anaphylactic shock, whatever we call it. Had to get in the ambulance. Okay, God bless my wife.
Shout out to Jen.
Just saved my life that night, young. Just said, drink the baby Benadryl. I was drinking the baby Benadryl.
Yeah.
All that, right?
Excuse me. Go to allergies.
Right.
Ain't cough this one.
Take that shit back to Atlanta.
Right, exactly.
Show's over.
You gonna see that little red line? Show's over. Anyway, that's how the shit started.
Rolling shit.
But yeah, we gotta get this. This is the most immature health conversation we've had. Anyway,
it's balance.
I went to it is. You gotta laugh to me. We went to, and I had to go to the hospital. Okay, and obviously do all the blah blah blah. All of them for the basic telling me like what I knew. You nigga get an EpiPen and blah blah blah. $1,900 bill.
That's crazy
for the ambulance.
Ooh, yes indeed. That's how it goes.
I don't want to be telling people where I live, but just know the hospital is no further than 2 miles away from the house.
Was it the AMR joint or was it the?
I don't know. I just got in.
Did they give you medicine while you was in the joint?
No. No, they didn't give me.
Yeah,
they just drove me.
Like $2,000.
Yeah, my wife could have just drove me.
Uber Black could have.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah. There's a lot of reasons why people are hesitant to get, and I think there's a further conversation, and perhaps we get an expert on to really talk about like the ins and outs. There's a lot. There's a lot going on with the now finished shutdown in healthcare. So these are things that we could talk about with some people that can really offer some concrete facts. But just know that they do make it difficult for you to be mindful of your health, but to bring it all the way full circle, the things that we can do, I'm very happy to see us doing them.
Yeah,
100%.
Getting active. My man LT, gym rat. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
Is a health nut always been.
The gym is literally my second home.
Been doing that.
Yeah.
I've been telling people consistency. Get it started and just be consistent. That's all you really need to do.
Yep.
We proud of you, LT.
I love when we about to do a show.
LT's also the only non-parent on this panel.
He is too. That's true. But look, I'm about to compliment you because I love when we about to do a show. And Nargis like, I'm running 5 minutes late, 10 minutes late because I'm coming from kickball. Or back in the day, used to be I'm coming from kung fu, kicking a bowman in the side of his head or whatever.
Kicking bears in the face.
Kicking bears in the face in the woods. You know, all this is stuff.
Like, do I want to be like a cute, chubby mom or do I want to be like active with my kids?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm with you. Yeah.
So
yeah.
To make a
But
decision.
real quick,
yes, please.
To the insurance piece, and this is a serious thing. I think we're a very illiterate nation across the board, but I think that if you have the opportunity to get insurance, engage the insurance, understand what your premiums are, understand what's happening.
Yeah.
There's a lot of communication that is out there to help you understand and navigate these spaces so that you get the quality you get the quality services that you need. I think it's very important to understand what you're paying for, what's coming out of your paycheck. And I know that, and I hope this doesn't sound preachy, right? But I think that there's just a lot of times that people don't understand what they're getting, right? We know with car insurance, okay, I'm going to get this, I'm going to get this, I'm going to get this. But what happens when it comes to the health insurance, to the dental insurance? You know what I mean? There's been kids that have had an infection in their gums and in their teeth, and that's a very dangerous thing, and it goes to the brain another day.
Go in your bloodstream, all of that.
Yeah.
So just understanding what you do have access to. I know there's a lot of conversation about affordable health care and things like that, but engage your insurance, engage your doctor, ask these questions to figure out what suits you best. And that may make this health journey a lot more enjoyable.
Absolutely. Final word, P.
That's not preachy at all, man. That's absolutely wonderful advice. As an overall, man, to put a button on this, we should always quest for knowledge and everything. The same thing, Connor said something a while back, that our brain is a muscle, literally. So when we exercise that muscle, when we gain knowledge, to apply it to the rest of our physical body. So I just think that there's something that we should just keep striving towards.
There it is. Sorry.
Boy.
T, what's next?
All right, y'all. We about to talk about the Grammys. Let's get started.
Let's go. Let's go.
He said that with a little attitude.
He mad at me. He mad. He angry about that one.
Because I kept having to look at Smooth. I'm waiting for him to say something.
All right. Let's talk about some music real quick. Shouts out to Marty Bowser. Came on the show last week and broke down the Billboard stuff and all that for us, man. It was really dope. We're going to have her back on real soon. This is just a kind of follow-up to that conversation. There's a lot of music news going on in the world. And as much as we talked about hip-hop and where hip-hop may or may not be and has it fallen off or not, hip-hop is heavily represented at the Grammys this year. And not only is it represented just in general, it's represented by some veterans in the game as well. Shout out to Glorilla, shouts out to JID, shouts out to Tyler, the Creator, shouts out to The Clips, shouts out to Kendrick Lamar. All nominated for Grammys. Kendrick Lamar leads the nominations for Grammys. I think the Clips might be second up there. I might be wrong about that. And also shouts out to like Chance the Rapper and other artists that didn't quite get there but had great projects this year. Just in general, P, what are you thinking about the nominations for the Grammys? Are you excited about all the hip hop that's represented this year?
And it's crazy, just like I said, per our talk a couple episodes back.
Yeah,
it is good to see all of the hip hop acts that are getting Grammy nods.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Just like I said, just to go back to what we were talking about and how how parts of the culture can begin to disappear and what we think about that in 20 or 30 years from now.
Right.
So to see this and even see it within a resurgence of older acts.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? In hip hop. Yeah. I think that works so wonderfully across the board because the young kids who are still absorbing their element of music and growing with the artists that they have now, because I'm not going to just call people's music garbage and all those things, even those things that I don't personally care for. It is what it is because it's these kids' music. But I think it's so beautiful that this is happening because they still get a chance to listen to some of this other music, and it allows them to listen to some of the people that some of their artists are influenced by, and understand certain things more. So I'm real happy.
And it breaks down the stigma of that hip hop is a young man's game.
Okay.
Or excuse me,
Yes,
a young
sir.
person's game, right? And so I think that also nods to your point is that there's definitely people who are still out here doing it at a very high level, even at the age when they said that this was going to flop back in the 90s or the 80s.
Right.
But we still have these individuals who are putting out quality products.
Right.
And
You know what I mean?
competing
Like,
with younger artists.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I still think that hip hop, and this is going off our conversation we had with Marty, Paul and I had with Marty last week, where it's a good thing, but there still is an issue. And that's, I'm not going to get all into that. I will say that this.
You mean Grammy wise or what?
No, just in terms of the growth of the genre and where it's going and where it will be on a commercial level.
Okay.
Like we talked about 20 years, 30 years from now.
Right.
And because the reason why I say that is because there will be like older rock acts when rock and roll was starting to not be the mainstream music of the country, but Metallica and Metallica and Aerosmith will still be like nominated for Grammys.
Right.
So this isn't bad. That's not what I'm trying to say. It's just, it's still showing that hip hop is in an interesting place because it's the older artists that are getting the attention.
I get what you're saying.
Okay.
I get what
But shout outs to JID and Glorilla.
Yeah.
They're not nominated for Album of the Year, but they are nominated. I love, first of all, just as a side, I love Glorilla.
I
I love Glow.
Glorilla.
Glow out of all the
Curbing on
Curbing.
Curbing.
I love Glorilla. Okay, so I'm very happy.
You love Glorilla.
I love Glorilla. No,
you're not ugly.
No, I do. I like Glow. I like
Come on the
JID,
show, Glow.
obviously. You know what I'm saying? Funny enough,
Come on the
we're gonna talk about this in a moment.
Yeah,
JID was very representative in the Outkast celebration.
Yeah.
So he kind of follows that.
Only one in the lineup.
Yeah.
Other than Janelle. But yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. Yeah, but we're gonna talk about it. But just to stick to the Grammys real quick, I'm very happy about it. I think I know who's going to win, and I don't want to say because y'all know me. I'm my bias is going to show, but I think people are going to be a little upset because I think the clips are the darling. People want the clips to win. I actually want the clips to win.
They deserve it.
I think they deserve it. I don't think they're going to win.
You don't.
No, it's going to be Kendrick Lamar.
Yo,
No, listen, real quick. Sorry, Kendrick Lamar may not win Album of the Year. I don't know. I can't speak to the other like pop albums and other genres of music that's in that. I haven't heard these albums. I don't know how big they are.
But rap album?
But Kendrick Lamar's going to win album.
But
Rap
you know what's
album.
interesting is you typically see campaigns happening for these awards.
Yeah.
I've seen clips on their campaign.
Yeah, Kendrick's not on the
seen
campaign. You're
Kendrick
100%
doing
right.
it. And
Yeah.
I know he's won prior to not having the campaign, but we haven't seen him since the Super Bowl.
Yeah, he's been on tour. You're absolutely right, but he's not been. You're right. He's not been like all up in people's face.
Interviews, like we haven't seen or heard from him.
And that could matter.
But
Go
doesn't,
ahead, please.
I'm sorry.
No.
I mean, I don't. Kendrick doesn't.
What's that? Is that normally his Steve's anyway?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
not.
Yeah,
That's
he
not
doesn't
like
do
I
that.
think like
Yeah.
seeing clips.
Yeah.
Is it matches clips.
Yeah,
But
Not
I'm saying-
seeing Kendrick matches
but I
Kendrick.
mean, but in terms of when you're campaigning for these awards, if it's a Grammy, an Oscar,
He don't
whatever,
I don't think
He's
he
never
campaigns for
campaigned
it.
though.
He doesn't.
He doesn't campaign for it.
Yeah,
Right,
he
but
doesn't
who
care.
but who has also been arguably someone like neck and neck? So, for example, clips, not just because the music was quality,
Yeah.
because of what it stands for. The adversary for Pusha being by himself for so long, and then Malice coming back. I think it's a great story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think, just like in football and basketball, for these great storylines in wrestling, we need the clips to win. Because Kendrick has been sweeping up for a while, but we need to get that essence back. I think one, Pusha deserves it, and I know he probably has other things because of Kanye, but I think that from a clips specific piece, like out of Mobb Deep, Outkast, like how many 2-man duos do we really have that we can't still salute anymore? And I think that's a great story. And so when they're at GQ, when they're at the Vatican, when they're at the LV,
they're on Sesame Street.
When they on Sesame
like I think that campaign is meaning something. It's like, kid, we are here.
I think that campaign got them now. Now, let me be real. There's no bigger Kendrick Lamar fan than me, but I do want the Clips to win.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that campaign, the result is the nominations, right? And I actually could see a world where they win Hip Hop Album of the Year and Kendrick wins Album of the Year. And again,
that's fair.
I know when I talk about Kendrick, a lot of people, I get it, but the GNX album,
Glow might surprise y'all.
Glow could win. Listen, any of them.
She surprised everybody.
Yeah, listen. You got Glow, JID. You got who'd I say? Tyler. Tyler could win it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think Tyler's up for Album of the Year too.
It's not unusual for a sleeper person to win the Grammys,
but we also
even though the Grammys don't really matter.
See also in those categories.
Well, we talking about Album of the Year.
No, I know. I'm just.
I'm sorry. We talking about Hip Hop Album of the Year.
I'm saying, but just historically, so I can't remember who went up against Doechii, right?
I understand what you're saying. Right. I think we just making the point that it doesn't have to be Kendrick or the Clips that wins Hip Hop Album of the Year. It could be Tyler. It could be. It's probably not gonna be JID, but it could be
business.
No, I don't think it's bad if any of them win. Honestly, I think that's the beautiful thing about that particular category. Any of them winning would be great. If Glow wins, that means a woman won it, and it's one of the younger women, one of the new school younger women that wins it. And to me, in my humble opinion, the most talented of them.
I agree.
You know, because I don't think she's necessarily part of the Megan, Cardi, Nicki
she's like
era. She's like after them.
She's like
she's like younger than all of them. So she's with Lotto and them. You know what I mean? So I think she's the most talented of them. No disrespect to Lotto,
of course,
but you get my point. If JID wins, that means that's a super sleeper. That is a extremely talented artist that a lot of people don't know about. Everybody, and that'll be like his coming out party to the world. If Tyler wins, that means a super creative artist that made two. I don't even know which one is nominated. I don't think the dance one is nominated. I think it's Chromacopia that's nominated. Yeah, but two extremely.
Chromacopia was good.
Chromacopia was dope. But two.
Hey, you know what? Smooth, get a ball.
No, wait, it wasn't better. It wasn't better than was it the estate set? What was the one before that? Call me if you get lost.
Well, that don't matter. It's what's nominated now.
I know. I'm just saying, just in terms of me enjoying the
I feel you. I feel you, but I'm just saying, someone that makes concept albums could win. If Kendrick wins, it's just a combination of all of the shit. And GNX is very much important in the entire story of Kendrick / Drake in 2024 and beyond.
What's better for hip hop?
I don't think that's that. I don't think that. I think any of them winning is. I understand what you want to get at. If the Clips win, it's dope. It's an elder statesman group who came a long way. It's like when Leonardo DiCaprio finally won his Oscar. It's like, finally, you won your Oscar. You've been trying this for a long time. You won your Oscar. The Clips winning is not better for hip hop. The Clips winning is better for the Clips. Yeah. Any of those artists winning is dope for hip hop.
But see, the reason why I specifically point the Clips is because with them being tenured, artist, we now get back to the whole artist development space conversation we had a few weeks back, right? About putting the quality music out. So, for example, for Glow, it's a woman piece. For Kendrick, it's a regional thing.
No, it's not just a regional thing. But I don't want to interrupt you. Go.
But that's a win for the culture, right?
Yeah.
I don't even know if they were even full-length albums. There was EPs. So when you have a full album of girl records, and I'm not saying the GNX didn't, but girl records, and you have hip-hop records, you got all those things, like actual bodies of work. And I think that hip-hop may need...
Let me ask you an honest question.
Go ahead.
Have you listened to the Glorilla album?
Through it all? No, but I have heard the different hits on it and heard the different
records. So you can't say that the body of work is better or worse than the Clips. You like the Clips. So the Clips mean something to you. Because if Glorilla wins, it's the same win
for what I'm arguing, because I think this artist development piece.
Right, but the artist development could be there for Glorilla, because it wouldn't just be
I agree with you.
that a woman won. It would also mean Memphis won.
Like, I agree. You know what I mean? Thing. I think there's a lot of different there's a lot of different things that these artists would win, but I think that in terms of the longevity of hip hop.
Then you want one of the youngins to win.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think
How
we
many
talk
more
about
albums you think Clip's gonna have?
yeah.
They could just be getting started again.
Sure, but
True.
they're
I think-
50 years old, so you would
Yeah.
for the longevity hip hop, you want JID or
Yeah.
Glorilla to win or
Per
Tyler.
Isla's point.
Yeah.
Per the
Okay, go
point that he's making,
Mhm.
right? Because I was saying, like this is great. This is it's showing that there's elements of relevance.
Mhm.
But then he pointed out to me, it's still not where it needs to be. And I think the point is like to have more younger artists
Yeah.
also nominated because
Yeah.
that element of the culture is still moving forward. I
Right.
think
It's
some of
succession
these
plan.
things are
Right.
more of a recognition piece of what the older statesmen are doing, but
Right.
it's not a
Right.
not saying that they don't have much more music left in them. But
The
I
Rolling
think
Stones were
having that-
nominated for Oscars, just Oscars,
Yeah.
Grammys. I'm just interjected just real quick.
Right.
The Rolling Stones, Tom Petty,
Mhm.
all these like older rock groups were getting nominated for Album of the Year, like in 2020,
Mhm.
2019,
Tony
2018. It doesn't mean that genre of music is growing. It just means that fan base still enjoys that. But rock and roll
those particular
was
people.
dying while Metallica was still getting Album of the Year nods in 2016, but metal music
Mhm.
was dying. So when we say
Right.
hip hop music and the growth of hip hop music, then it can't be Kendrick, it can't be the Clips, and it can't be it can't be those two. It has to be JID, it has to be Tyler, or it has to be Glow if we're talking about the growth and what's better for hip hop.
I would put Tyler as like even an in between just because
Yeah.
he's been around. And honestly,
Yeah.
JID been around for a minute.
He
too.
has,
He just
yeah.
hasn't been like
Has
Poppin'.
pop.
he hasn't he hasn't been like in the forefront, but like he's
Mhm.
been with like Dreamville.
Yes.
For a minute.
I think nominations and wins are for me are two different things. I think nomination nods to the younger people. JID being nominated for this, I think
could
is
dig what you're saying.
important.
I understand
You
what
know
you're
what I'm
saying.
Right.
saying?
Glow,
I think
yeah.
the nominations
Right.
are huge, but the win itself, I think, has a different byproduct of what it can do for hip hop.
I see both points.
So
Yeah, I do.
So
I see
I
both
agree with you
points.
that the young bloods need to be there, but I do think that for the top tier, we need to kind of to get the culture maybe back on the tracks or figure out what tracks we need to be on. We do need that.
and you're
that-
saying
Can I
that'll
ask a
still
Yes,
expose
please.
light on the youngins as
Yeah.
well.
Then
Right.
I can
Like
jump in
part
there.
of what
Yeah.
you're
All right,
saying.
so I'm not a youngin', right?
Yeah. None of
Not
us
a
are.
youngin' no more.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I'm
LT
just
is.
thinking like when we think about like the evolution of music and
That's
we
what I
think
was
about like the framework that music is in and
Mhm.
social media and independent artists and all the
Mhm.
things, right? Like
Mhm.
I don't know if Leon Thomas is signed or not, but just
Right.
folks who seemingly seem to just kind of pop up but have like a hell of a fan base
Mhm.
and like sell out their respective size venues. It's like I don't know if the youngins care about Grammy, like
Right.
like these traditional institutions that like we know
Right.
have value, like an Oscar, a Grammy, or what have you.
I had something to say that.
That
Yeah.
I don't know if like, because maybe this is the other thing. It's like I know like when you get an Emmy, there's like money that comes with that on the other side. I don't know I don't know the value or access that getting a Grammy or an Oscar does for an artist on the other side of it, if there's a dollar, like whatever the case may be. But when I just think about increasing and broadening like a fan base for the longevity or like I said, like the succession planning of a genre or a type of music, I don't know if winning a Grammy matters.
to the youngins.
I think it does.
As far as accessing, I don't know. That's
No.
what I'm saying. I'm just saying, like,
I'm not.
know
Yeah,
if-
yeah.
I don't know if one is
Right.
influencing the other because it's like it's a lot of the times it's the youngest who even get them to the point of where they are
Right.
in front of like the common eye or like the I don't know the word I'm trying to say, like
Yeah.
general public,
I know
right?
what you
Where it's
mean.
like, dang man, they've been popping on TikTok for like
Yeah.
5 years or something like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
I
I'm
think
just
they all want
thinking
it.
out loud.
I think they all want it. I think they all want all of them.
Mhm.
And as they get older, we can argue that Outkast didn't care about. And I know you just asking the question. But we could probably assume that Outkast did not care about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in '96 when they was just young and this, that, and other. I've heard Public Enemy say, fuck a Grammy, you know what I'm saying? Like when they were younger, and then be right at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame crying and boo-hooing. So it's like, it is a maturity thing as you get older. So I do think there's two answers. I think you're right that like the 20-year-old rage rapper that's out there, bringing Lil Yachty out on the stage is like an OG, and they just like, this shit looks like a mosh pit. They probably, yeah, you're right. They don't care about anything, honestly, but just making their music and having fun. As they get older, and I think that's why we seeing Glow on probably her third project, and JID, like you said, been around, but they are representing the younger artists, not the 20-year-old artists, but the super young artists, because this is when they start to make, I think the natural flow of an artist is like their first couple of projects.
Streamline is the word.
Okay. But yeah, but the natural progression of an artist is right. Yeah, you knew she was gonna get the word. The natural progression of an artist is their first couple of projects are just like maybe a couple of hits there and there. You could use Tyler as a perfect example. His first couple of joints they weren't great albums. He had moments. And then he had more crazy moments, as we talked about a couple of weeks ago, right? But then he started maturing and making albums. And then it got to the point where now I want recognition for these albums. So where does that recognition come from? It comes from Grammy Awards, things like that. Then you start searching for whatever they searching for after that. So I think the Grammys and awards and all this stuff will always matter to artists because they're always going to want to know that their work matters. You may find those outliers that are like, I don't care about any of it. My man from Rage Against the Machine, the lead singer, didn't even show up to this Rock and Roll Hall of Fame nomination. Tom Morello, the guitar player, was there and was like, yeah, y'all know how he is. He don't give a fuck about that.
I mean, Jay's been saying fuck Grammys for a minute.
Say again?
Jay's been saying fuck Grammys for a minute.
Yeah, but then he got on there and talked about how it's messed up that him and his wife ain't got enough Grammys. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So they care. They all care. Yeah. It's a funny thing I want to say about Jay-Z later on when we talk about an older rap. I just want to bookmark that for myself. So, but the Grammy thing, LT, you got any thoughts on this, man? What's your thoughts on the Grammy nomination before we move on to the second part of this conversation?
I pulled up the leading nominees, how many nominations each person has. But yeah, Kendrick is in the lead with 9. Lady Gaga is second. Somebody named Jack Antonoff. Circuit. Bad Bunny got 6. Sabrina Carpenter. And then Leon Thomas is one of the tops with 6 nominations. And the last one I see on this list is someone named Serban Gania.
Okay.
So, yeah,
Kendrick Lamar has the most Grammy nominations of everyone.
Yeah, 9.
Oh, he's winning. He's winning hip hop. He's winning that rap jump. He winning that one.
No, yeah, I'm about to say he got 9 nominations. It really would, to be honest with you.
This is all for GNX?
Yeah. I can't tell. It doesn't say what.
Yeah, for GNX. Yeah,
but it's probably
last year.
And I know
that's the last album he
had.
had.
The song of the year is Luther.
Yeah, he's got. So right. Just to that point. I'm glad you said that again. Y'all know me, but Luther was the biggest streaming song, or one of the biggest songs of the year. Yeah. I mean, think about the moment, Mustard, like the band. I know GNX. I can admit GNX is not, when you put it up there with Good Kid and To Pimp a Butterfly and Damn.
I don't even equate them the same. I think they're I thought GNX was like an EP, it was just like a quick, this is for the culture here. It wasn't like a actual, and I could be wrong.
Yeah, sure. I mean,
body of work like the other, Damn and Black.
It wasn't you're right. His projects normally have
film. It was
they usually have a through line.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
This one even had a heart on it, which is usually on his mixtapes.
Right.
So you're right about that, but it's definitely a full-length album. Okay. It definitely had several hits on it. When we had our hip-hop conversation a few weeks ago, it was his songs that fell out of the top 40 that caused to be no songs in the top 40. Mm-hmm. That says a lot, and that says a lot for a dude that just basically be kind of threw out a jump because he was capitalizing off the beef.
Right.
And just 9 nominations is wow.
Right.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And
to
speak on what you were talking about earlier, Smooth, where it's I get what you're trying to say is that, if the Clips won, it'd be like that, Cinderella story. They've been deserving this for quite some time. But, we talked about this on one of our last episodes about how, music has different types of genres within the genre. You know what I'm saying? Subcategories of genre, and music evolves. So we can't necessarily say like the Clips winning would be the best thing for hip hop.
Right.
I agree with Adam. It's like anyone who wins is going to be a good thing for hip hop.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah.
Especially now. All right, before we wrap up, one last thing we got to talk about. Outkast got inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Awesome.
I made it home from Predator Badlands just in time to see Andre and Big Boy walking up to the stage. It was so dope. It was so dope to see Andre up there.
It was a full circle moment.
Yes.
They seemed to really appreciate it. I love that they brought the whole Dungeon family up. Beautiful. Also thought it was very funny that Andre was like, I'm not performing shit.
Yeah.
Oh, he's done.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
they legally aren't they still
That's
still under contract with Jive?
They
I don't
Well,
think
they did that tour.
can.
They did that tour a couple of years ago.
Yeah, the Outkast that last, but
Yeah.
but I mean, I don't know what paperwork happened, but I really felt like unless they've aged out of the contract, I have to look it up, or LTK, if you look it up, I really feel like there's like payment that has to go to Jive.
I feel
when they
you.
perform together.
Okay.
You're
That's why they did Love Below and Stank. Like
Yes.
that's why they
But remember,
did because they owe an album.
But Andre did give us the Flute album, so.
He did.
But I also think
But I'm
that
just saying,
I don't even know if that
it's
counts
something
as an
about
album.
them performing together. There is no Big Boy featuring Andre. Like y'all are Outkast. Stop playing with us.
I'm curious
But I don't
to
know
see.
if it's still in effect.
I think you're right, but I'm curious to see if that's applies to on wax and not on stage.
Yeah.
Because that's just them performing their old songs.
Right.
Yeah.
There's no payment for that. But if they are, because you're right, because I remember.
Because Big Boy didn't do an Outkast song.
He definitely did. He did.
song
They
did-
started off with Cooler Than the Polar Bear's Toenail. Oh hell, because that's the one JID. The way they did it was what's it? Throw Your Hands in the Air. They did that jump. Because he did half of his verse, and the JID came at the end.
Right. Okay.
He did. But you're right. The other one he did was The Way You Feel. You're right about that. But why you're right is because here, shouts out to Bliss and the whole crew. We did a T.I. interview, and this was T.I. had the whole Heavy as the Head album promo, and the big thing he was promoting is that he had an Andre 3000 verse on his album, and he kept saying, he said to us, I had Big Boy on the album. They were both on the same song, but they couldn't be on the same track together because that illegally constitutes as a Outkast song.
Yep.
So you couldn't say featuring Big Boy and Andre.
Yeah.
It was an Outkast.
So they couldn't be like separate artists.
No.
Yeah.
They're a package deal.
But I think Andre just don't perform no more.
And also, I think he was done at the concert because I went to Atlanta for the Outkast at last joint, and that's when he was wearing the jumpsuits. They had like the different words on it.
Yeah.
That's when he came up with "Sorry" with Rick Ross.
Yes.
He was saying how he was sorry that he let his mans down and he wasn't doing that no more. So, yeah, I remember that.
And they don't owe another collective album together.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
That's done.
Okay,
Good.
Yeah, that's when he was wearing shirts that says like "Darker people across the world suffer more." Or something
The white wigs.
He was just using it as a political. But I watched it was a podcast that Big Boy. It was Killer Mike's podcast.
I saw
and Big Boy, Killer Mike was like, I invited him.
Yeah.
And he very nicely told me
no. Yeah. So on one hand, I'm happy that he showed up to the ceremony because I think we all want to know that they still cool, and we know.
Yeah, we do.
But it's good to see them like it ain't
see them both together. It's
nostalgic.
It's nostalgic, and the fan of me. Speaking of older artists, the fan of me wants to see them perform, and I still want Outkast to be a thing. And so we go back to the Clips and all of that, and so you have a group like the Clips who at one point we thought would never ever perform again. I mean, the dude that basically retired from rap, you know what I'm saying? Right. And so you have like older artists on one hand who are still performing, and you got a guy like Jay-Z who's kind of like hybrid. And I got a comment about Jay-Z. I might as well just get to it right now. Shouts out to, I can't remember your name, but you were commenting on our video on YouTube. Thank you for watching, and thank you for commenting on that. We were going back and forth a little bit because he said, and actually I wonder if you could speak to this. He said, we were talking about who could battle Jay-Z in the verses, right?
Okay.
He said Future, and he said Future is the Jay-Z of the South.
Yeah.
Okay? And I said, I'm sure you're right. Okay? I said, however, I think the difference is Jay-Z has an almost 40-year career and Future does not. He was like, yeah, but to me, Jay-Z only got two, he was naming like Blueprint and something else, 444. Those is only classics, and Future got as many, and we were going back and forth respectfully. I appreciate anyone on YouTube who debates me respectfully.
Yeah.
To y'all niggas that start getting into all the disrespect, I'm going to meet you with it. But with this dude, it was super respectful. But he said Future is the Jay-Z of the South, and he believes that Future would give Jay-Z some
How old is he?
I didn't ask him how old he was. That's a great question.
I don't know. That may be accurate.
I want to ask Atlanta.
Yeah.
I
Atlanta
wouldn't. I would put T.I. before I put.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
I see where he's going.
Yeah.
I see where he's going. Shout out to Future for having the Dungeon Family group connection there, right?
Yeah. And rest in peace to
Rico Wade.
Rico Wade.
Yeah,
Rico
rest in
Wade.
peace.
Rico Wade.
But no, I would, if we're doing a Jay-Z of the South, it's T.I.
Yeah.
If we're doing individual, like if we're doing like
Yeah.
single artist versus single artist, because again, we know Outkast owns the South.
Yeah.
But like, it's T.I. And I'm not a fan of either of them, but it's T.I.
Yeah.
I don't agree. I mean, I'm sure he has, and I wasn't in the exchange. I'm sure he has rationale of why he feels that way.
Yeah.
I don't agree with that.
He didn't have much rationale, just to give you that context. He just was basically saying,
I can't even like off the top of my head.
I'm from the
name,
South,
like,
so you don't know.
Future albums. I can name some singles, but I can't like name a Future album that's like that can go up against Blueprint.
Man said real quick, smooth. Man said there's nothing, because I said when he named his great Jay-Z album, he named Blueprint and 444, I think, and I said, well, music is subjective, but Reasonable Doubt is universally known as a classic. He was like, there's no song on Reasonable Doubt that's better than March Madness. That's what he said.
Oh wow.
He said that.
And again,
I
don't
really
even
would
like
love to know how
Jay-Z
old
like
he
that,
is.
but I'm just like,
because that's
I respect.
Let me ask you this.
I think that's a young
T.I.
person statement.
And
I think
that Heavy is the Crown is one of my favorite T.I. albums.
Yeah.
But has T.I. ever had a run like Future has?
In whose eyes?
I'm asking.
How are we defining run?
That's what I'm asking.
I'm talking about like consistent hits.
And after this, we'll wrap up.
Yeah, like consistent hits.
The whole
consistent.
2000s.
What? From Rubber Band Man?
That's what I was about to say. Rubber Band Man
on. You can have whatever
and then
you
he
like.
then he was in movies.
Right.
And then ATL.
But all the songs with Justin Timberlake.
But if you look at Future and how Future did his thing with
real songs.
Future did his thing with individually, but he also did his thing with
Drake.
Drake. He had his run with Khaled. Like there was
all the Metro Boomin stuff.
There was a time where Future, Dirty Sprite 2. There was a time where Future was
These are recent runs though, bro.
I mean, but
it's cool. But you talk. I feel like, and again, I'm speaking from a place of like, I'm not an authority on this, right? But I feel like when you're thinking about, I think about Jay-Z standing on his own. I don't think about Jay-Z's collabs. I think about Jay-Z and rapping. And I think about T.I. and rapping. I'm not thinking about Future features. I'm not thinking about when he did a thing with the. I'm just if we're doing compare to compare, Jay-Z didn't have no collab with Swiss and no collab with Khaled. But that's not what.
That's not the precipice of.
That's not the precipice of
what
Jay.
of what they're talking about.
Okay, so
it's like Jay-Z and a mic. T.I. and a mic,
right? But
I think Future with a mix machine.
But I think we have a very nostalgic view. I think we have a very nostalgic view of Jay-Z. After Blueprint 3 came out, you started to see that Jay started to kind of like accommodate for a more wide range of people, right? So when he does Holy Grail,
Kanye,
I feel like even when he did the what was the him and Kanye album,
the Best of Both Worlds joint.
No, the Watch the Throne.
No. Watch the Throne.
That was our.
So we can.
No, I said R. Kelly. I'm just thinking of his other. Yeah.
We can see how Jay had a transition where he was like the DeLorean. He was moving. He was working with Khaled. He was working with everybody.
And then he did 444.
And then he did 444. And then he started becoming like the elder statesman. But I can't. Yes, T.I. had some features with like Khaled and stuff, but I don't remember him being as consistent for a block of time like Future was.
I think the answer is. Oh, sorry. Please, not go.
How you feel about Lil Wayne?
Yeah, that's the point I was gonna make.
That's how you feel about Lil Wayne instead.
His Carter.
I'm never gonna say
his
Future.
Carter 1. His Carter 1 to Carter 3 run stamped him.
Okay.
I think it was amazing. I mean, he was even good before then, but I think Carter 1 was really that transition point for him. After a while, even after he came back from jail, like after a while, he started getting cold. He was quiet.
There's an answer to this question.
Go ahead.
There's nobody. And that's the point. There is no one. There are people who can be as big as an artist in a certain region, right? So what my man is saying is that
of the South.
He believes that Future in the South holds as much weight in Atlanta or the South, wherever you say holds as much weight
is Jay-Z of the
Jay-Z.
world.
But when you start breaking it down like you all are attempting to do, there's a stop. And then there is no real stop. There is no stop. We could say maybe there's a stop for Jay-Z now. Maybe. But just 2 years ago, we were talking about, and I said this, I feel like repeating myself now, we were talking about, damn, the nigga did an 8-minute verse on the Khaled joint. Damn. You know what I'm saying? So there are just artists, Missy, Jay, Janet Jackson, we talking about verses here. We listened to them last time. There's just no matchup. Well, that's what he's talking about. That's what he's talking about.
I thought you said that he was
No. So he's responding to an episode where we talked about Jay-Z and who could battle Jay-Z.
Right.
And what I was saying is in the comment section, he was saying that Future is the Jay-Z of the South. That's who could battle Jay-Z. Because we talked about that last week.
Okay.
And I was telling him, it could be nuts. It could be nuts. And we got to wrap up. We got to get ready to wrap up. But it could be nuts. But I don't think it's as crazy because Future is bigger than a lot of us, especially in a certain age bracket like that.
I agree with you. That's what I'm
saying. The answer to me, and you got the last word on this one, is that there is no one. I think it just proves that there's no one because it's not Future. It just means that dude likes Future more and that he can, Future's bigger than maybe I was considering.
I was just speaking to the Future is the Jay-Z of the South. I was speaking to that part.
Yeah.
Not saying that they could do it.
I don't think there is a Jay-Z of the South. Because there's no Jay-Z of anywhere. There's no Jay-Z of the West. There's no Jay-Z of the South. There's Jay-Z. And that's okay. A lot of people like to hate on Jay-Z.
Right.
But Jay-Z is Jay-Z. You don't even have to be a fan of his music. Like, I don't like Taylor Swift, but I recognize that Taylor Swift is Taylor Swift.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Sometimes you just got to be able to say, like, just because I don't enjoy the music, I don't listen to Beyonce. My wife was just here earlier. That's the one that can tell you about Beyonce.
Mm-hmm.
They ain't no Beyonce. The way Beyonce, when she is like, I'm coming to DC, and the way her and them women activate for that woman, or the way my father's, my sister's mom, shout out to you, Cheryl, activate for Beyonce and the way she's like almost godly to these people, there's no comparison, even if I don't like the music. There's no Jay-Z. That's fine. I get it, dude. You like Future.
Yeah.
Not you, homie.
Yeah.
You like Future.
Yeah.
Kendrick ain't Jay-Z.
Yeah.
There is no Jay-Z.
I think, and that's like
it's a 40-year career
in general. Yeah. And probably my age, like that Future, that sounds crazy to me. Personally,
like that crazy.
Like
right. But when you break it down to, I mean, I can't even imagine like
even breaking it down, it still sounds
no. So like, for example, if you think about like, I don't think of any northern producers that did.
Last comment on this.
Yeah, northern producers that did anything for Future. I feel like Future has a very distinct sound.
Yeah, that's facts.
When you think about Jay, he's used many different, even New York, like Swiss and Timberland, right? And even so Virginia, that piece. But I don't think there's
the South. I'm sorry.
No, yes, I agree. But I'm just saying, I think when you think about Future, you think about I can't think of his DJ's name off the top of my head.
Think about Metro.
Is Metro? Were you talking about Metro Boomin or his DJ?
If you're on Metro, just we going
right. So it's a very southern space. Whereas though I think that I mean,
nice mixture.
Whatever.
Yeah. Let's wrap up. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. It was a lively conversation.
Let's go.
We talked about a lot of stuff, but I'm glad you all stuck with us, and I hope you all enjoyed it, man. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for rocking with us. Remember to follow us on all social platforms, MSR Tribe on Instagram, MSR Pod on TikTok, Motion Radio on Facebook. All right. Subscribe to the podcast on YouTube, podcast platforms, all of that stuff. Nargis, you're back next week.
Come on now.
We already.
Come on
we
now.
ain't gonna say goodbye just yet.
Go.
She's back next week. Brother Smooth, thank you.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
LT, thank you. I'm Adam Butler. That's Paul Spann.
Black Man Spann in the building.
Until next week, be great.
Elevate us.
Out of here.
Yeah.
Peace.